Hello, and welcome to today's presentation, Customization for the Future, Creating Loyalty Programs as Unique as Your Locations. And we're excited to have you join us. Before we get started, a few housekeeping notes. All attendee microphones and cameras have been disabled for the duration of the presentation. If you have questions, please submit them through the Q&A panel located at the top right of your screen at any time. We'll address as many as possible during the dedicated Q&A session following the presentation. If we're unable to get to your question today, a member of our team will follow up with you later this week. Today's session is being recorded and will be shared with all registrants after the event. Now, please join me in welcoming our presenters, Bradley Whitson, Vice President of Commercial Relations, and Jim Koya, Vice President of Business Development.
Thanks, Carrie. Jim, happy to be back.
Yeah, we're back again. And if you're tuning in for the second time, thanks for listening to us again.
We're glad we didn't drive you away the first time.
So we're going to go through, last time we talked loyalty at a very high level. This time we're going to dive a little bit more into exactly what ByteBucks does and what ByteBucks does differently than some things in the market today.
Yeah, so I think one of the things we discussed a lot last time is some of the problem with traditional loyalty, especially within our space. And a lot of times it's just, it's bland, it's stale, it's the same everywhere, and it's not specialized or tailored. I mean, I think a lot of us operators have all experienced the phone call that we would get from one of our customers saying, hey, I just saw an ad in my app for this ice cream product, but why don't I have it in my micro market? And it's because it's a kind of generic one size fits all, statically push promotions across every account, every location. And us operators, what we want to do is we want to give a great experience to our customers. And really our hands have often been tied that we don't have a way to give that highly tailored experience. We don't have a way to give our customers what they're looking for. And I think it's really coming to a head now because, today's consumer, they're expecting more. I was really surprised, Jim, to see some of these statistics. First, I think we all know loyalty helps, but studies have shown that, an engaged loyalty member actually generates 15 to 25% more annual revenue. And so there's a direct ROI on some of these things and some of this effort. But what I was surprised by until I thought about myself, 74% of consumers would adjust their spending to maximize loyalty rewards. I think last time we talked about, doing those mileage runs, which I clearly wouldn't do on the company dime. But, it's the sort of thing we do these. We've gone out of our way to buy the product because there was a promotion on it. Because we've seen it advertised. I know my son made a point to try to collect all of the McDonald's cups this year for the World Cup because he saw it in an ad. So, and I think the biggest thing that surprised me though was not that the average consumer belongs to 15 loyalty programs, but it's that realistically most of them are dead and they only engage with about half of them. I remember early on, someone once told me the only thing worse than having no social media presence was having a dead social media presence. Is it fair to say the only thing worse than having no loyalty program is having a dead, outdated program, Jim?
Yeah, it could be. I know that certainly there's, I probably have a lot that I don't use on mine, but when it comes to airlines, hotels, maybe even coffee at some times, or when I'm drinking tea, I use those specifically because of what I'm earning. Oh, I can't believe I forgot Chipotle.
That was your lunch today. How did you forget Chipotle?
Literally ordered Chipotle for lunch today. That's my favorite one. There's some features about the Chipotle loyalty platform that we are also going to be replicating, which we'll get into here as well.
So I think that's what's really exciting is what we've done with the ByteBucks loyalty platform has really made it not like the traditional sort of loyalty that we often see in our space, but like what the other real retail establishments are using to engage with their consumers on a daily basis. I mean, look, I'm just a vending guy who once sold Snicker bars in South Jersey, but if there's loyalty platforms that can work for these billion-dollar corporations, why shouldn't we try to emulate the same things?
Yeah, it seems like they probably did their homework.
I would think so.
Yeah. So how can we influence consumer behavior? So there's a few different things that we've done. Auto reloads and incentive funding increase stored value. So a lot of the platforms out there, which I'm sure you guys all know, already have that feature of doing auto reloads. Perhaps you get incented for putting certain amounts on your card as well. So that's a feature that we've replicated in ByteBucks. But one thing that we deviated from the traditional programs available in our space are the tiering and point systems, and having them drive repeat visits. So last time we joked about that a little bit too, but in all seriousness, for airlines, for hotels, those are probably the two prime examples I can think of. You earn in a different way, and you get different rewards based on what tier you're in. And so, if I'm choosing between, I won't name the brands, I guess, but this hotel brand or that hotel brand, I'm going with the one where I have the most loyalty because I know I get the most perks from it. And so we wanted to create something to drive purchase intent. So we think the tiers accomplishes that. And so with tiers, you can do a few different things. One is you can earn points at a higher click. You can redeem points faster. But as the operator, you can also customize promotions and discounts specific to that tier. So you're giving people a reason to spend more to get to that next tier because they'll have more promotions or more discounts opened up to them in that case.
Well, I think it's people want to feel valued, and they want to feel that value. And so one of the things that we can often do, consumers who are spending more with us, in our micro markets or at our points of sale, we want to find ways to show them we value what they're doing. We value their commitment to buying from us. And so doing these tiers can allow us to offer those extra special promotions, higher redemption rates, higher earning rates and things, so that they realize that we truly value what they're doing.
Sure. And again, I want to make this one point too. With everything that we're going to talk about today, everything is customizable in here. So say you don't want to offer tiers for some reason, you can do that. Or you only want to offer 2 tiers instead of 3 tiers, you can do that. We'll have a sort of quote unquote generic or, one that's available right out of the box. That one's going to contain 3, and you can use what we already have put in place. So if you say, hey, I don't even know where to start, we've already put something in place for you based on all the data that we have to create these tiers and so forth. And then push notifications, creating a sense of urgency. So with every promotion that you put in place, you will be able to also do a push notification and say, hey, this is on sale for X, or buy this, get X, and so forth. And backing up a step too, every consumer is tied to a location or a kiosk when they start their account. So, and this, I may be covering something later in the presentation. I have no idea, Bradley, but we're just going to go with it here.
We're doing it live.
You can customize, so you can actually customize the content that consumer is going to see at that location. And when their app opens, it phones home to our system, and it's only providing them in their app with stuff that's available to them in that market.
Yeah, I think that's a huge point. And I think another thing too, while we're talking about the push notifications, think as an operator, if I know I've committed to going to service my micro market tomorrow, and I'm at a point where I haven't generated my pick list for the next day, wouldn't that be a great time to push a notification to get people to go down to the market, drive some incremental sales to increase that dollars per visit that I could be getting there? I know I'm going back the next day. Anything more I sell is effectively dropping to the bottom line because I've committed that service cost. So there's even some cool tools here that you as an operator can use to help some of your operational efficiency while also rewarding your top tier customers.
Exactly. And again, that's a huge selling point of this platform. We took a ton of operator feedback when we created this, but you wouldn't be able to do that push notification if you did not know that product was available for that consumer in that market. And so we have all of those. We have all of that covered. Oh, here we go. The very next slide.
The very next slide, Jim.
As you can see, we really studied this very hard before we started.
There was an intense meeting I think you and I had right before this, possibly over Chipotle.
Yeah. So again, because we know what users are where, you can configure that down to even a single kiosk. So in our system, we have different levels, for lack of a better term. So you've got just the standalone kiosk. You could have an account, which maybe there's several kiosks in that building. You could have, I think it's customer level. So if you have a manufacturing plant that has multiple buildings, you can say, I want to make sure that this program or this platform is available to all of those buildings. Or you can just say, hey, I just want one blanket program for all of my kiosks. You can do that too.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, I think that's the critical part here to say is if operators out there want to create a program, and maybe you do want to try to do a similar program for all of your locations, but you want it to be your program, you can customize, the way you call it, what your tiers are, how points are earned, how points are redeemed, the promotions, and push them out to all of your customers and locations. You could also then have your own program that you've created and then still tailor different things. What you might want to do for a corporate office and the sort of things that you would incentivize and promote there. Look, it's the sort of thing everyone has talked. I think every operator who's on this call right now has seen the discussions around Fresh Food Fridays. And for how long have we been talking about Fresh Food Fridays? And quite frankly, one of the reasons why Fresh Food Fridays didn't work is because, sure, it'd be great to try to push some fresh food out of an office, on a Friday, but you most certainly didn't want to incentivize people in a manufacturing facility that's going to run Saturday and Sunday to buy up all of the food on Friday afternoon. And let's face it, our hands were typically tied. We either had to have very complex ways to try to accomplish it, try to adjust menus so overlapping items weren't there, where we were forced to abandon the incentive. And so now you can tailor this program so that in a place where you want to do a Fresh Food Friday, you can do that. Instead, maybe that manufacturing facility, you want to partner with the employer to do discounts on Sunday to reward and incentivize the people who are coming in. You can tailor a program that has discounts on Sunday for that employer that you don't have to then extend to all of your other customers.
That's a good point. Yeah, and the way it works is, so if there is a location that has a custom program, it will always default to that custom program. So our system's going to look, the kiosk will say, is there anything available to me at the unit level? No. Is there anything at the broader level? No. Okay, then I'm just going to default to our overarching program that we have for our total company. So it's not, you don't have to manage it in that regard. The system's automatically going to take care of that for you. I was going to make the joke, or if you have a lot of people like Bradley, they're not in the office on Friday. So Fresh Food Friday is not really doing a lot promoting.
Fair point.
But you made some good points.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome. So gaining ground in the points economy, create your own rules. So a lot of the systems out there in our space today have the ability where you're earning points, you can redeem those points for credit. So the beauty of our system, one, is whether you have tiers or not, or those additional layers, it's up to you. And again, we have an out of the box program that's available there, but it's up to you how many points people are earning. So if you say, hey, I don't want my program to be as aggressive as you have it laid out here, you can scale it back. If you say, hey, I'd like to be a little bit more aggressive and say, I'd like to see if I can get more people enrolled in my platform, you can do that as well. So again, everything customizable. That was one thing I wanted to mention.
And you can even customize within the tier. So even within the program, you could have your entry level redeeming at one rate. And then as people start building up to a higher tier within the program, we can change the redemption rate.
Good point. And then the one point on the app, on back to tiers I wanted to mention before too, but the app and the kiosk is always going to display the point balance. But even the kiosk is going to say, here's where you are, and here's how many points you are away from that next tier. So we're always putting it out there in front of the consumer, whether it's on the app or the kiosk. We're putting it out there so that people can understand there's a value in being a part of this program, and we're continuously trying to engage that purchase intent. One of the examples I like to use a lot on the tiers is maybe it is a Friday, maybe it's your last day at work, maybe you're a couple points away from the next tier. You normally stop at Circle K or pick your flavor of convenience store on the way home, and you're
the right answer is Wawa.
Wawa.
It's the only right answer.
Sheets.
Oh, that's a good one too.
You usually stop and you pick up a Coke Zero or I shouldn't name or a Pepsi Zero. Now we're fair.
I think Keurig Dr. Pepper would have something to say here too, or Dr. Pepper Zero.
Dr. Pepper Zero, 7-Up Zero. I think, are we good? Anyways, so
let us know if we missed anyone.
Bradley Whitson at vesolutions.co. So instead of stopping off, maybe you make that purchase there, so you're getting to the next tier. And just another way we're trying to incentivize some purchase behavior. And then runs product specific incentives for new products or slow inventory. So the point you made earlier, it could be, hey, I've got some slow inventory, I'd like to get something moving. Or, hey, we've got new products out there and we want to bring awareness to the products. I want to create a promotion. I want to create, a push notification to go along with that. And let's see if we can get those things moving.
Like hypothetically, I accidentally mentioned Coke Zero in a webinar across the entire country. So now I want to do a promotion for like Pepsi Max.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Bradley Woodson, VEsolutions.co. Tiered loyalty has entered the chat. So again, talking a little bit more about the tiers. You can actually see, I don't know if you can see my cursor on the screen, but in the app, you can see the 3 different tiers. So our generic names we made for these tiers are Grazer for the entry level, Super Snacker, and the category that I'm in, which is Break Time Boss, because I snack all day long. So these are our fun names that we came up with. Those are all customizable. But in the app, it's going to say, hey, here are the different rewards you get for being a part of those tiers. And as we talked about, you've got the ability to customize promotions there. You can make it so, similar to the hotels and airlines, especially, you're earning more points based on the tier you're in, or you can redeem points at a lower rate based on the tier you're in. We have all of that functionality built in here as well. And then our UI, both on the kiosk and the app, encouraging the progression through the tiers. So
yeah, and I know we've said this a few times, but I think it's really important to make sure we make the point clearly. When you tailor your program, if you have a program tailored to a specific location, what users of the app for the location will see are the promotions, are the tiers, are the redemption levels for their location, for their program. The app is not a one size fits all. As you build these programs out, it will understand where the consumer is and is able to, based on where they've registered and what kiosk they're using, display the right tiers and the right information. So the app itself will flow through with that information, just like the kiosk screen.
Yeah, awesome. Promotional toolkit. So reward purchases that improve profitability. So obviously you can use promos to move higher margin products. You can do either percentage off or dollar off product, product or program overall discounts. And then the kiosk UI prompting non-members to sign up. So if you make a transaction, you're not using the loyalty platform, it'll say, hey, you could have earned this many points. Or at the bottom of our carts, we put, you could have saved this by using your loyalty card. Now, typically that's tied to the 2-tier piece, but again, just different ways we're trying to incentivize people to join and be a part of the program.
Yeah, I think one of the critical parts of that is we've all had success doing rollouts, doing grand openings. You first set up the micro market, you roll out your loyalty platform, there's excitement, you get people signing up, but then you obviously have to pack up, you head to the next place. And unfortunately, we tend to see loyalty drop off. Maybe some of those employees leave, new ones who come on aren't aware of the program. So some of the things we've attempted to develop here by letting people know what they could have earned, by putting QR codes right there to say, you could have earned this many points, scan here to sign up for ByteBucks, is to make sure we're continuing to capture new consumers and bring them onto loyalty, so it's not heavily dependent upon that grand opening to get people to sign up.
Yeah, and you're scanning that QR code, it's automatically connecting you to that location. So again, I know we've emphasized this a couple times, you're not seeing promotions that aren't available to you. It's tailored to you at that location. So incentivize account reloads. So we talked a little bit about this before. You can have that auto reload feature turned on the app. We start reloads at $10. You can also offer bonus dollars for cash and credit reloads. So you can say, hey, if you load $20, we will give you $1. We will give you $2. Just ways to continue to drive program adoption. And then this is a good point we haven't made yet. Operators retain 100% of stored funds. Today, the programs that are out there, if you load dollars on your app, those go into somebody else's wallet, and then you get charged a fee when your consumer uses those funds. With our platform, because we know where the consumer is tied to, we also know who the operator is that is overseeing that account. So if someone loads funds on their app, those dollars come to you next business day. And so we're not holding those funds. We're giving you your capital, and we're giving you your capital next business day. And we're not charging you when someone uses our stored value and loyalty account. It is included in our monthly fees.
I can't put it any simpler. It's your money every day coming to you with no fees to participate in loyalty.
We're sticking true to what we've always done at VE, and that's bring value to everything that we do. So targeted push notifications. So
this is a big one.
I'm gonna let you talk to it since
Go
you
ahead.
say it's a big one. It's all yours, Bradley.
Yeah, so I think, targeted push notifications, I think one of the critical things here is what can we do to try to drive more consumers, drive consumers back into our micro markets, back into our locations. And I think one of the issues that we have is we typically can't easily communicate with those end customers. You got people who are at their desks, they're in the workplace, they're possibly going into the break room. And ideally what we really want to do is help remind them we're there. Let's give them those jolts to create the sense of urgency, to remind them, hey, maybe I do want to get up, stretch my legs, go downstairs, check out what's in the market. There's a lot of times we'll also put new products out there in the market. We want to get word to the consumers to say, hey, we just restocked your market. There's 7 new products down there. Why don't you go and check them out? And oh yeah, by the way, if you're a break time boss, you can get a discount on those products. So push notifications is really helping to close this loop so that we can take all of the cool things that we've done, all of the unique features, the customizable nature, and find ways to let our consumers actually know. To me, this is like the crux of this, is being able to actually then communicate all the things we're doing to the end users.
Yeah. Pretty neat feature. And, I think it's to your point, it's going to give you the ability to promote new products. I like the point you just made too. Say for whatever reason, something was out of stock for a period of time. Maybe there was back orders because there's too much demand on the manufacturer. Having something there to say, hey, this is back in stock and we're going to run a promotion on it or something along those lines. So you may have lost people at that market and now you're bringing them back. One more point, since we're nearing the last slide too, is when it comes to the products, the one thing we didn't talk about is in addition, and this isn't available quite yet, but it will be available later this quarter. You'll have the ability to also use products to be able to redeem points for products. And back when I was talking about Chipotle, that's one of my favorite features about Chipotle is once you earn enough points, I can add guac, or I can add chips, or I can get a soda. And so you've got the ability to also add, so maybe you have new products that you want to feature in this, or higher margin products you're trying to get people adopting. So you can have people redeem points for products instead of points for dollars back on their account as well.
I think one thing it's going to do too is help to start even driving incremental sales. If you go down there and you redeem your points for a free bag of chips, you're probably going to want a beverage to go along with it. I mean, we see that in some of the fast food programs where you can redeem for a free cheeseburger, a free chicken nugget. I don't know about you guys. I never go in there and just get the one singular cheeseburger I got for free and then move on. Sadly, that's not what this body is built for. But what you'll typically do is you're going in there, you're redeeming that free product, and then you're filling out a shopping cart. You're getting some more things. And I think that's why this is one of the features I think I'm really excited for that we have coming out, is the ability to get consumers to start targeting those products. Getting the throughput on those, I think manufacturers are going to be very excited for that as well.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we are going to be working with manufacturers on bringing manufacturer funded promotions through this platform as well. They have similar interests, right? Getting new products out there, some of their high runners out there. And so we are going to be working with manufacturers on that as well. That's been a question that we've gotten quite a few times.
So Keurig Dr. Pepper, if you're upset that we said Pepsi and Coke, Jim Koya at VEsolutions.co, let's get a promotion set up.
There we go. Full circle. So why ByteBucks? Again, full customization. I hope you leave here thinking, I can really tailor this to me. And I think the coolest part about this is no matter how many operators adopt our program, you still have the ability to make yourself different from someone you may be competing with every day. So versus if you have somebody else's market, you're going to be going head to head with them with the same promotions, the same loyalty system. And what is there that's making you different outside? I know service and other things play in there, but with our platform, you can customize the program, you can customize your promotions, you can customize your tiers, and you still have the ability to make yourself different. Gamification through points and tiers, talked a lot about that. Really excited about that. Very unique to our industry. And 100% operator-owned funds with daily deposits. So we were going to eventually make that point. So, those funds come direct to you every day. And with all of that, we mentioned this on the last call, we're also providing an industry low processing rate. And you already know that we have industry low monthly fees. We are designing this platform to deliver as much value as possible to the operator, both incentivizing sell-through as well as on the fee side of things, so that you can really continue to have higher ROI on your markets out there.
Yeah, I just put simply, you can have the most customizable loyalty program out there that is designed to drive sales unlike any other program, with tools that can help you reduce operating expenses for lower fees than anything else you're paying right now.
Yeah. That's a simple way to put it. Or if you don't want to customize it, you can use it how we designed it. And then you still have it there for a good value with low fees and low processing rates. So that's all we have. I appreciate everybody coming, and I guess we'll hear if there's some questions now.
All right, thank you, Jim and Bradley. We've been collecting questions throughout the session, and now it's time to jump into the Q&A. We'll address as many questions as we can. If we're unable to get to your question during today's session, a member of our team will follow up with you later this week. So running through the Q&A, how are the discounts managed and or pushed to VMS via VDI?
Bradley?
Can you say that again, Gary?
Well, if you don't know the answer, I can say it. I figured you would be more knowledgeable since you were an operator.
Yeah, I'll say it again. How are the discounts managed and or pushed to VMS via VDI?
So go ahead.
So how are the discounts itself? So the card is actually passing through the discounted rate as a part of the VDI. And so in the various VMS platforms, and happy to have some one-off conversations specifically with with whatever operators are asking, but you're able to see the discount. We push it back up through the VDI, and you can typically run a report that is showing you what the full retail was, and then separately it calls out what the discounts were.
Yeah, and that's actually part of the VDI spec. So
Yep.
To your point, there could be some small nuances between which VMS it is, but it's all pushed back. And
yeah, and happy to have that conversations with individual operators if you want to know how to best tackle that.
Great, thank you. How easy is it for customers to sign up for ByteBucks?
Very easy. There'll be QR codes on the kiosks that will tie users to that location. So you can sign up on the app, you can sign up on the kiosk, you can sign up by swiping one of our cards, and so forth. So really simple. And I would say, and go ahead if I missed anything, but the other thing I would say too is if you're already on an existing platform, we can upload that UPC and balances to our system automatically as well to make the transition as smooth as possible. And then at that point, once they scan their card again from another provider, you'll just have to enter in a PIN essentially that is your security measure for our platform. So.
Yeah, we've got a lot of different ways to do it. There's a lot of different methods, whether it's conversions, whether it's new deployments, whether it's new customers that you're rolling out or existing customers of yours that are getting the platform for the first time.
Great, thank you. Question, I know we may have covered this already, but can I run different promotions for different locations?
Yes. And again, the way it operates is each location will always look to see is there it'll always take the lowest level of tier or promotion available. So if there is something that's specific to that kiosk or that location, it will go for it. If not, it'll keep going all the way up until it finds something, and that could be just at the total org level. So
Yeah, and for the operators out there, this is very similar to how sales tax, commission rates, and things like that are typically set up in your VDS. You can set it at a higher level and then start overriding it as you go down ultimately to the kiosk level.
Great, thank you. If I only have a few locations, is personalization still something that is worthwhile?
I would say it's even more critical. I think personalization isn't a matter of what size of an operator you are. It's about actually connecting with your consumers and assuming that if you only have a couple locations and they're different, they may be blue collar or white collar, different types of settings, you have different types of products you're offering, or even a different market layout. All of those things will drive you to want to customize a program to make sure you're driving value for the consumers and getting them so they're continuing to engage and continuing the purchase. So I would say for a smaller operator, it's probably even more critical because that's a way to, quite frankly, get your name on the map and show that you've got something new and unique out there.
yeah.
Great, and I think we have one more. The last one that came in is, what comedy club in Cleveland will we both be performing at this evening?
You know, you're gonna have to speak to my agent. I'm not sure.
We get an agent?
Whoever submitted that question, A+. I like that.
I'm assuming Lawrence Binsky's on the call. Now, Jim, it's been a pleasure being here with you again. I love getting a chance to talk about ByteBucks loyalty in this industry. So.
Yeah, awesome. And really appreciate everyone taking the time to come listen to us, and hope you got something out of it. And if you have any questions, reach out to myself, Bradley, if you know us, your sales rep, whoever. We're very excited about this platform, and thanks for coming.
All right, thank you for joining us for our presentation, Customization for the Future, Creating Loyalty Programs as Unique as Your Locations. We appreciate your time and participation and really hope you enjoyed today's discussion. A recording of today's webinar will be shared with all registrants in the coming days. If we weren't able to answer your question during the session, a member of our team will follow up with you directly. Thanks again, Jim and Bradley, and thank you all for attending. Have a great day.